Hey everybody, welcome to Pod Me If You Can. Today's film is from this 3-in-1 Diva pack of movies, and I've decided to review the Sandra Bullock movie Hangmen from 1987.
Pod Me If You Can. Movie reviews.
Special Forces agent Rob Green has information about an undercover terror team inside the CIA. To stay alive with the knowledge, he is advised to stay undercover by his supervisor. As men try to kill him, Agent Green warns his son Danny that he also might be in danger, and that he should look for Dog Thompson and Bone Con, his old military friends. As the men track them down, Danny's girlfriend, played by Sandra Bullock, and his family are dragged into the line of fire. I've tried to make the explanation of this film as simple as possible, except it's got a real convoluted plot. And mostly you wind up watching continuous kind of scenes of people talking on the phone, buying weapons, loading weapons, driving in cars, and we spend a lot of time with these Special Forces guys just hanging out. So much so that there's not much screen time for Danny, the son, who should really be the lead of this movie. The way the structure itself is built, if they'd introduced Danny, a high school kid, and let us see inside his world, establish his world, show us his girlfriend, played by Sandra Bullock, and then have his dad turn up and turn it all upside down, then that would have been a better way into this movie. Here we get gibberish CIA rubbish for ages, and the dad trying to get out of the CIA, putting his kid in danger, and so many scenes with assassinations and trying to get out and, computers and all the stuff we already know as a viewer. We have to watch it kind of slowly unfold before we even meet Danny. It's a very violent film. There's a lot of blood squibs. It's very blood heavy. But there's lots of average acting and very bad audio. Take this clip, for example.
Who is it?
Fire department inspection today.
Inspection? I wasn't notified about an inspection.
Just cooperate.
Wait, don't push me around.
Honey, what's going on?
Don't push me around. Don't do that to me.
Are you Mrs. Green?
I was Mrs. Green. What are you doing? No. Ah!
Look again at that clip. They're dressed as firemen trying to get into the place, and they actually open the door themselves. They open the door themselves. Why didn't they just come in and shoot the place up, which is what they wind up doing anyway? Why the fireman outfits? There's another really stupid scene where, I'm just going to give you some of the stupidest scenes in this movie. This really stupid scene where a female assassin comes to his dorm room and she says that she's an escort and that she's there to give him a date. And it's all paid for. And she mistakes the roommate for Danny. Which is fine. She says Danny, Danny, Danny a bunch of times to confirm it's him. And he doesn't deny it's him. However, he says he's going to go splash some water on his face and then come back out. And she says no problem. And while he's in there, she prepares a silencer and shoots him. If he'd said at any point, "I'm not Danny," she would have just left. Why didn't she just come in and say, "Are you Danny Green?" And then he would have said, "No, I'm not." And then she could have said, "Do you know where he is?" and left. Instead, she comes in and does all this overacting just to shoot him anyway, the same way the firemen do. Agent Rob Green, played by Rick Washburn, wants to spend more time with Danny. He tells his ex-wife Carolyn, "I'm getting out." And she says the fantastic line, "Danny has a nice life. He's living my lifestyle now." So much of this could have been rewritten. There's a bit where someone calls someone a power tool, and maybe that's just a nice insult from 1987, but it's not good. There are very drawn-out attempts to kill Danny as he goes on the run with the old military friends, and there's zero emotional response when his real mother and stepfather get murdered. Sandra Bullock plays his girlfriend. She's in the opening scenes to establish he's at school, and then she becomes a glorified damsel in distress. She is there in the third act, and her character mostly consists of a person who asks questions. What's going on? Hey, how's this happening? What's this got to do with your dad? And just does not know what's going on. It's very two-dimensional. Sandra Bullock was 23 when this film was shot. Jake LaMotta is in the film. He's the inspiration for the film Raging Bull, and he's in one scene as a weapons buyer, and that's about it. Here's a great scene of somebody dabbing a wound. So much that you wouldn't disturb the makeup. So she's clearly avoiding the actual wound part and dabbing all around the makeup job on his neck. Strangely enough, the tactics at the end of this movie for the Special Forces team is to go in all guns blazing. So, not subtle and discreet and tactical, just go in shooting. The best stuff about this movie were some of the scenes. They did a shootout in a junkyard, which I liked. One character was able to pop up out of the boot of a broken car and take his opponent by surprise. They did have this terrible kind of Uzi gun cam, which was annoying to watch. But in the junkyard, there was a car crushed with a guy in it, which was kind of cool too. Unfortunately, the film mostly feels like a kind of a high-budget student film with explosions. This has been universally disliked on IMDb with 1-star ratings. There's over 40 of them. No one would have watched the movie if Sandra Bullock wasn't in it. And it's actually the very first film from writer-director J. Christian Ingolfsson. He has made a series of very poorly rated action films on IMDb. But to his credit, he's had a full career. He's still working to this day on these straight-to-DVD action films. And interestingly, one of the characters, Bone Con, is in 7 of the films, so they're a shared universe, and there's probably a lot more inside jokes that I will never get into, because Hangmen was not a good movie at all.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeifyoucan.com.